Welcome to Inspiring Possible. I'm Christy Pennison, former stuck person turned therapist and dream consultant. Are you feeling stuck, overwhelmed, uncertain, or just need a little inspiration? Then I want to help you gain the clarity, confidence, and courage to create possibilities and live a life you love. Because folks, life's too short to be miserable. Hey, my Inspiring Possible people. It is so good to have you back listening today. And boy, I can tell you, I already know we're going to have some fun today. So you might as well just go ahead, buckle your seatbelt. Hopefully you have a seatbelt on if you're driving or if you're walking or whatever, because even in the first few minutes of me talking with this person, I know we're going to have some fun and I know you're going to get some information that will definitely impact your life. So don't push the pause or the skip button. Just stay tuned because, we all go through things in life that sometimes lead us to right exactly where we are today. And my guest today actually started our conversation offline today talking about that he was a fighter most of his life, but then he figured out how to stop fighting and start living. And so, if that is something that resonates with you, you better just keep on listening. And so, I am very excited to welcome Coach Cudjo. Did I say that right? Not
You said it right, Christy.
Cudjo. Okay, Anthony Cudjo is on the show. And he's a leader in everything human optimization. So if you want to be better, do better, live better, then you came to the right episode today. So welcome, Anthony.
Christy, it's so funny that you said that. You told them to strap their seatbelts on. Let me tell you something. If you're standing up, you better sit down. If you're sitting down, you better strap your seatbelt on because we're about to have a conscious conversation that could potentially, listen to me now, could potentially change your life forever.
All right,
Forever.
let's get started.
The thing,
Forever, folks.
you know,
Forever.
I think Christy, how long are you and I going to be together? What, 30, 40 minutes maybe?
Something like that. Something like that. Yep.
Okay. So we're going to play a little game if you don't mind. We're going to play a game for about 40 minutes with the listeners. You okay with that?
I'm down for it. Let's go.
And this game is called, you want to know what it's called?
I'm ready.
This game is called I Believe.
I believe.
Yes. So to keep up with this conversation, this amazing conversation that you and I are about to have, Christy, the foundation is I believe, because I'm going to be saying some things to you that you're not going to believe. And this is the reason why you're having a lot of trouble, challenges, trials, and tribulations in your life.
All
So
right.
if you're
Well, I'm strapped in. I'm pulling up to the table and I'm also thinking of the song, You Will When You Believe. You know that song?
sing it, baby.
All right, here we go. So, okay, when did belief become a powerful thing that you realized that you could leverage to make things happen in your life?
Well, here's the deal about belief. Belief is the power of everything. I tell everyone that I work with, Christy, after 38 years and thousands of clients later, listen to me now. Remember what we just said. We're playing a game of what? I believe, right? That's the game we are playing for the next 30 minutes. So watch this. You only have one problem. It's your beliefs. You don't even know who you are. You have no clue whatsoever because society has not trained you to understand this. Your mom and dad had no clue either. We usually try to find it out as we move forward with our lives. We bump, we bruise, we fall, we stand up. All these different things happen, and we're trying to find the answers and the solutions of who we are. So I'm going to tell you today who you are, and you got a chance to believe it or not. I chose to believe it, and my life absolutely changed. Every aspect of my life changed because my beliefs changed. So that was the critical thing about it all. I had to change the way I believed about my future and who I was as a human being.
Well, let's talk about that. When did things change and when did you begin to believe?
Things are still changing today. Change never stops. It's the process of evolution in life. If you don't want to change, you better get off this planet. Change is part of the game. And that's one of the things you have to accept. You have to accept that you are in a world full of change. Life itself is about change. Nature itself is about change. You are not the same person you were 5 minutes ago. You may look the same, but you're not. I promise you, internally, your cells have changed. Different things have happened inside of your body that are different. You may look the same externally, but you're not the same internally. There is no way that you are the same. So when you accept and embrace change, guess what? Life becomes a joy and you're not fighting anymore. Remember, we talked about fighting. There's a difference between fight and flow. When I was younger and I didn't understand life the way I know now, did you understand what I just said? I didn't say believe. I know some things. See, belief is a good thing to start with, Christy. Belief is good to start with. But you want to know. You want to know who you are. You want to know the power that you possess. You want to know what you're doing in your life. You want to know where you're heading with your destiny. You want to know how to create the things that you want, the life that you desire, the life that you deserve. You want to know these things, not believe in them. You want to know them. So, what I do is I teach people how to master belief and graduate it into knowing because you are a powerful being. You're powerful beyond your understanding. Now, I got a question for you, Christy.
Okay, let's go.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, so we're still playing this game, I believe. Now, these are yes or no answers. So the first question is, do you have a cell phone? Yes or no?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a flat screen TV? Yes or no?
Sure do.
I know you got a computer because we're looking at each other.
That's right.
I'm sure you got a beautiful car in your driveway too, don't you?
I can't complain.
Now, the reason why I'm using those devices as an example is because each one of those devices are electronical mechanical devices. Yes or no?
Yeah, they work.
They're all electronical, they're all
As long as I
mechanical.
charge them into some electricity, that's
Now
right.
listen to what you just said, Queen. You said they work as long as I charge them and plug them back into electricity. I want you to hold that thought for a second. Now here's the deal. Here's what we all are. This is what you have to accept if you want to move forward in your life in a productive manner. You are an electromagnetic being. That is the law of your being. That's the law of who you are. You were created to attract things to you. You were not created to chase things.
Uh-oh, say that louder for the people in the back listening.
I'm going to say it real slow because this is the truth. And you take a look at your life and you'll see that it's the truth. You were created to attract things, not to chase things. You are an electrical magnetic being. That's who you are at the essence of who you are at a cellular level, at your DNA level. There's nothing you can do to change that. The only way you can change that is to leave your physical body. It is the law of your being. And when you understand that, you'll start moving in life much differently. You'll stop fighting. You'll stop chasing. You'll start flowing. You'll start attracting. And you'll start to realize that this life that you're living is absolutely magnificent. It's absolutely magnetic if you'll just believe it and you'll know it. And things will just come to you. I'm telling you, it's an amazing thing. But you have to know this. You cannot live this way until you know it. And the only way you know it is by doing it. That's the only way.
Okay. So I'm curious, coach, when in your life did you really start to do things that then caused you to know it?
Wow. Okay, here we go. I came from a very challenging background, Christy. I don't need to go into the details of the abuse that I went through, but it was tragic. I'm thankful that I survived it. I didn't even know that what I was going through then was preparing me for what I am doing now. Every tragedy that you have in your life, every perceived tragedy, because it's not a tragedy until you perceive it to be so. Everything about your life, you are the energy and the force of it. Okay? So here I am. I'm in an abusive household, growing up in an abusive household with abusive parents, right? Now, all of those negative energies got on me as a child. I started playing a lot of physical sports to manage that energy. I didn't know it was energy. All I knew is I was angry. All I knew is I was depressed. All I knew is that I wanted to lash out and hurt things and hurt people. And I used exercise and fitness and athleticism to get that energy off of me. I am so thankful for football. I'm so thankful for boxing. I'm so thankful for martial arts and all the things, bodybuilding and powerlifting and all the things I did as an athlete Because without those things, I probably would have, you'd probably be talking to me in jail right now. You'd be interviewing me through, a glass wall or something. I would be in jail because I was in a real bad place. I got to the bottom of the barrel, and what I mean by that is, I got to a place where I just started really asking God what this was all about because I was depressed. I was a great football player, Christy. I believe at that time I was fifth in the nation as a fullback. I was averaging about 10.5 yards a carry. I injured myself my freshman year of college. I lost my scholarship because I couldn't play football. They gave me a choice. They said, have the surgery and potentially recover and you can play football, or no surgery, no scholarship. My parents couldn't afford to keep me in school. I was only in school to play football anyway. So after I had that injury, I lost my desire to stay in school. At that time, my coaches and all my trainers were telling me to do the surgery. They were like, Tony, you could recover, man. You're strong enough. You can recover. You got to get back out on the field, man. And, I tell you something was really weird. I came to a place in my life where I had to really say to myself, is this what you really want to do? Because I was playing football, to be honest with you, to get my dad's attention. Because
Mm.
again, he was abusive. So, I figured I knew he loved football. I came from a real long line of football players. And I knew if I could shine out on the field, me and my father potentially could have a different relationship. But when I injured myself, I was just done. I didn't want to play ball anymore. I quit playing football. I went into about a year's worth of depression. I started doing things, it's so funny about depression, the energy of depression, it never it never motivates you to do anything positive for yourself.
No, it just sucks you down,
It's just an energy it's energy and you have to understand it's energy. But if you'll notice, when I got to the end of my depression, I got to the end of my depression by understanding the power of decisions. I just had enough. I decided I had enough. I had enough of the way I was living. I had enough of the way I was feeling. I wanted something different. I knew there was more to life than what I was living at that time. So when I made a decision to change my life, opportunities started showing up in my life in a totally different way. And that was the beginning of my understanding of I have the power to make choices and decisions that are different, which means that life itself must show up by law, not my opinion, but by law differently. And the problem that people have when they're trying to transform themselves or transform their lives, they don't understand the law of mastery. Christy, you cannot master anything, good or bad, without consistency and frequency. Consistency and frequency equals mastery. So if I wanted to master my health, I have to be consistent and frequent about the idea of my health, taking care of my health, taking action on my health. And guess what? If I'm consistent and frequent about it, then the law of creation will take over and I will run smack dab into my goal because the law of creation is here to support us, not to push us down. It's here to lift us.
Well, and what do you think is because I mean, I 1,000% agree. It's something I've learned in my life. If I just show up consistently over a period of time, then there will be an outcome that is produced from that consistency. But I think it's a really hard thing for sometimes people, and this probably comes into, I believe, but I'm curious to know what you have to say about this. What do you think stops people from really being able to have that consistency and frequency and making those decisions to choose maybe something different for themselves?
I believe it's that one word that I use and I work with all of my clients with. This word you have to get clear on before you start taking action on anything. And that one word is why. Why am I doing this? What is your why? Your why is the sustainable thing. If it's not strong enough, it's not going to sustain you. And guess what? Here's the most powerful why. Do you want to know what that is? You know what it is, Christy? The most powerful why is me. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for me. That's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I love it. I like it. It makes me happy. You see, people don't understand the power and the energy of love, like, and happiness. These are some of the most transformative powers on our planet. When you are happy and you like and love what you do, the energy and frequency that's emitted from your body into the world of creation, it increases your magnetism. It draws things to you quicker. It makes life happier. So when you find things that make you happy, guess what? They will make you healthy.
Grab on to them. Grab on to them. Don't let go is what I'm
Happiness
saying.
equals healthiness. They go together. How many people have you seen unhealthy, Christy, that are happy? Not many.
Is this a trick question? No, not many. I really haven't. If you really boil it down, they might on a surface have learned to mask real well through life. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
And they might put out a mask, but I think if we really pull back the layers, no, there's not happiness there.
Yeah, I
There's
call that
not.
your commercial. Your mask is your commercial.
Which we
Don't
have
play
a
hey,
lot
you
of
know what?
people
Let me tell
playing
you
a lot of
something.
good commercials these days. We have a lot of people learning to play commercials these days.
Well, you know,
And yeah.
society will teach you to live your life by a commercial.
Mhm.
They don't give you space to be who you really are. They don't give you space to be honest with yourself. They don't give you space to be unique in who you are and the way God created you. They don't do that. So that's why I don't play society's game anymore. I play Tony's game. You see, I'm the king and queen. I'm the king of my life. You're the queen of your life, Christy. You
Right,
are.
right. Well, but listen, but it is hard to sometimes step away and remind yourself because I think I don't know about you, but I can really like even in conversations like this get super energized, be like, know that I am playing the game that is, why me, but when society just sucks you back in sometimes it's hard to really get yourself back to a place where you're remembering these things. And so what do you say about that? Like how have you been able to kind of really put society over here and Anthony right here and kind of uh, since we live in a society and in a world, how have you been able to I guess separate societal pressure, societal expectations, societal norms and focus more on no Anthony's, why Anthony's this is what we're going to do.
Well, here's the deal. You know, it's so funny because when I sit down with my clients, the first thing I ask them is, what is your destination? And they look at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, you understand that, these are tough conversations, but this is the truth. I'm not trying to
Had
be
a
rude. I'm
conversation
trying
with
to
a
be
friend
real.
about this. I said, "Where's your where are we going here?" And they're like, "Huh? We
Well,
gotta go somewhere?"
well, yeah, when they ask me that, I'm like, can I help you paint the map? And they say, yeah. I said, well, here's the deal. This is going to happen to you, regardless if you believe it or not. You're going to die.
None
That's
of us
the
getting
it.
out of here alive.
So
Disclaimer
listen,
for
that's
everybody. I hope we didn't shock nobody that's listening right now, Anthony, that
well,
they thought they was gonna be here,
let me tell you something, Christy. This is one of the things I've learned about our society as well. No one wants to talk about death. Everybody's afraid of it. No one wants to look at it, but here's the deal. We all have to go through it. So at the end of the day, I tell people, listen, what do you want them to say? What legacy are you trying to leave before you leave your body? What do you want your life to stand for? Get clear on that. See, because once we get clear on that, then we can reverse engineer your life. And what I mean by that is now you know your destiny. And now guess what? When you know where you're going, you're going to know who to let in your life. You're going to know who to let out of your life. You're going to know when to turn left and when to turn right because you know your destination. If you don't know your destination, you're going to get blown all over the field. So at the end of the day, I always tell people, okay, so do you want to be healthy? They say yes. I haven't met one human being that I asked and say, hey, do you want to be healthy, wealthy, and wise? They say yes. I say, great, let's build that. Okay, so if you want to be healthy, here are the laws, not your opinion, but here are the laws of creating great health.
How many opinions are running around out there? A
Oh,
lot.
wow. There's no,
That's a whole nother podcast episode about opinions.
I don't, I think opinions are great as long as you understand they're your opinions.
There you go.
As
Yeah.
long as long as you understand they're yours and no one else needs to adopt them or believe in them, I think you're okay.
But yeah, but I guess what you're saying is also beginning and end in mind. And I'll actually reference. I think about this. You just reminded me before I really started betting on myself. And it doesn't mean that I hadn't bet on myself in different ways before, or really, really did this thing called the knowing and just stepped out in a bunch of faith. And then things did start attracting me because I was doing the things that love, like, and brought me happiness and brought me purpose, and I felt meaning in it. But there was an exercise, it was actually in the book, I think, E-Myth, by, what's his name? Something Michael Gerber. And he did say in that book, he's like, go ahead and write your eulogy. Like, write what you want. If you were to come out of the grave and say, this is what I want people to read about me at the end of my life, I want you to do that. And he said, and do it. And I haven't done it since. I need to do it again. He said, do it frequently because you do need to be, since we're not talking about death all the time, aware that there is going to be an endpoint for all of us. And what is it that you want to leave when you're no longer here? And there's been so many people came before us. There'll be so many people after us. You know, we're only here from a little blip on the radar, is what I call it. Very small. If we like threw ourselves, we're like a drop of water in a big old ocean. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
hard to, but our life still are, we're here for a reason. And so I'm loving what you're kind of saying is how do we kind of make sure that we're clear on that destination? So once you help somebody get clear on that destination of where they're going, and I'm like you, I've never had somebody tells me that they don't want to be happy in life or they don't want peace in life or they don't want purpose in life. I've never met somebody that says, "No, I just want to be miserable. I want to leave this earth feeling terrible." Like, have you ever heard that?
I have never heard that, but how many people take that path? A lot.
It is true. So
A
how
lot
do
of
we help
people.
people once they get that destination actually get that momentum towards where they wanna go?
Sure, it's again, it's all energy, it's habits, it's behaviors. You know, the thing that people don't understand is that, transformation, it doesn't happen in 30 days, it doesn't happen in 60 days. No,
So
and
you
you got
think
all these.
overnight people that look like overnight success, that's not a real thing, huh?
No, 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 I'm not saying it's not real, I'm saying you can achieve that. My question is, will you sustain that? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
The
I don't
answer
know
is
if you ever
no.
heard that quote that somebody's like, they think that they see the overnight success, but they didn't see the 10 years that went into that, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, everybody they always ask me, say, "Tony, where have you been?" I'm like, "Man, you don't understand. I've been in the lab for the last I'm 59 years old. I've been doing this for 38 years. So, I, you think I'm an overnight success? No, I'm not. I've been doing
You've
this
been
for a
working at
while.
it. I've been working at it.
And the thing is, it's so funny because this is exactly how I got to the place that I'm at, Christy, is I reverse engineered my life in that moment when I was in that deep depression because I had, if you looked at me from the outside, I looked successful. I had a very nice house. I had a nice car. I had a nice body. I had a nice wife. I had a nice bank account. I had all those things that everybody would, define as a successful man, but I was miserable on the inside. I was
Yeah.
completely miserable. And it just, at the end of the day, I was like, first of all, what I'm doing is not fulfilling me at a cellular level. It's not, it just did not make my soul sing. Everything else was okay. My wallet was fine. All the neighborhood I lived in, the zip code and all this stuff, that was perfect, but it was not making my spirit sing. So I was like, I've got to find something that I really love doing. And what I come to find out is that I really loved helping human beings. I just really, no matter where they came from, I just loved helping them. And I found out that I had a gift, this gift that I never asked for. I had no clue. And so as I started moving into this and I started understanding, first of all, I said, okay, what do I want my life to stand for before I pass? What legacy do I want to leave this world? And the legacy that I'm leaving is H3O. Back to what we were talking about earlier when I asked you about your electronic devices. Every single one of them, Christy, they came with instruction manuals, didn't they? It came with an
It sure did.
instruction
I had to
manual.
pull one out, the other day because I was like, "What is this little light flashing?" And so I had to go to the instruction manual, figure out what it was.
Now take a look at this. This is crazy. Okay. You've got an electronic device that has an instruction manual, and you can use that manual to troubleshoot that device. Can't you? Just like you said, you were like, what is this red light about? You opened up the manual, you found out what that red light was about. Were you able to fix it?
Well, you know what? I was able to realize what I was doing wrong that made the so I was traveling too close to a vehicle, and it was trying to alert me that if I kept on going at the speed that I was
Oh.
going, then I would run into it, and that's what it was actually about. So it helped me realize, okay, well, actually, this light is here to help me not make fatal decisions in my driving. And then also it helps remind me that this alert is not like meaning something's wrong with your car, it just means that you need to pay attention more. So
Okay,
that
so
is what
so
I've
so
got.
that
Yep.
technology in your vehicle, it actually helped you to optimize that vehicle and operate that vehicle at its highest level and
Right,
capacity
and not
of
hurt nobody else while I'm driving. That's right.
there you go.
Or
And you know what?
myself.
And that's the thing, when you entered your physical body, now you are I don't know if you know this or not, but you are a light being, Light. You are nothing but light and energy. You are now possessing a physical body. You're now possessing a physical body, which we call a human body. Okay. At the end of the day, you're going to leave that body. We talked about that. You're going to leave that body and you're going to continue on your path of creation, your path of evolution, your path of divinity, and your path of connection with all that is. That is the law. No one can change that. If you'll notice, everybody that's been on this planet has left the planet. Even some of the greatest people that walk this planet, they're gone. Jesus is
And
not
once
even
their
here
light
anymore.
is gone, and once their light has left the body's no more. It just deteriorates. It can't sustain.
Well, the thing that's so crazy is that before we entered these bodies, now watch this. This is a deep dive. That's why I work with people for a year. It takes a while to get this stuff, man. But once you get it, you become unstoppable as a human being. You start to flow with all the energy that's around you that you're not even paying attention to because no one gave you your manual and taught you how to live in this physical body. No one taught you how to do that. No one said, Christy, hey, guess what? Welcome to Earth.
No, no.
And they never said, hey, Christy, you know
And
what?
they didn't give my parents a manual either. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
Well,
Like,
that's why your parents couldn't teach you because they didn't know. Most people
right.
figure out about their health and their body and their lives as they knock through in the night trying to figure out life. And it's unfortunate that that happens because there is a strategy, there is a law that's inside of you that will unlock everything outside of you. It's absolutely amazing. I've tapped into it. I didn't even realize it's inside of your DNA. And science is just now starting to catch up with this. Inside of your DNA, you have energies to help you to create everything externally. Now, there are three laws that govern everything that you do, Christy. Every single thing that you do, there are three laws that govern it. It's the first law is thought. The second law is word. And the third law is deed. You can't create anything without thought, word, deed. Everything that you have. Matter of fact, that beautiful jacket you put on today, Christy, you used thought, word, deed to do it. You
That's
looked
right.
at it.
I actually had to put it on right before this because I'm like, well, if they catch our picture, I need to be looking a little bit more professional here.
So you thought about it
I
first, right?
did have I had a thought, and then was like I even talked to myself while I was putting it on while I was actually
Word.
trying to log in to meet up with you, and I was like, "Oh, I'm late again. I'm running right at the end, the 10th hour."
Yeah.
And then I put it on. How does it look? How does it look?
You look wonderful.
Thank you, thank you.
But you know what? You actually exercise the law of creation. Now, I promise you, if you use those laws and principles in everything that you're trying to create, just sit back and watch how powerful you are.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Listen, I mean, I know probably for you the same as me. I mean, I know we haven't got all the way through your story, right? And I know we're just getting glimpses today, but I can even think through my experience. There was a point in time where, you know, life was happening to me instead of life happening for me, or like you said, the attraction. And when I realized, and as I've gone along this journey, that like anything you think of, it had to come from somewhere. Somebody had a thought. Somebody had a word that they might have spoke out that this is what I'm an intention I'm gonna do, and then they actually act upon it. Oh, so many things, like us on this internet. Like, you know, this was not possible, probably 30 years ago, right? I mean, it would have been dial up. I don't think they had this kind of riverside that we're interacting on right now.
Oh, no,
But
absolutely
somebody had
not.
to think about it, you know?
Absolutely not. That's why I'm so thankful to be in this time and era because this message and this information was given to me years ago, but we didn't have the technology to support. We didn't have the information. The science wasn't there to support the things I was saying about the human body and how critically important it was to stay in contact with your body and take care of your body just from an energy perspective. Understanding these sciences and these technologies are coming to the forefront, and we're learning more and more about not only our internal environment, we're learning a lot more about our external environment, and we're also learning a lot more about how they are connected. Everything is connected. Every word that I speak, it starts to move the metaphysical world. Every word that I speak. Now, what I'm so grateful for is that God put a lag time into this creation thing. I'm so glad that things don't get created immediately as soon as I speak because sometimes
Oh,
I
could
say
you
things that I don't
imagine?
mean.
Well, and I think sometimes we wish for things that we really don't want. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know
Oh,
if you've
sure
ever
we do.
said this. I'm like, "Oh, if this could just happen tomorrow," and then it happens tomorrow, and you're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, I wasn't ready." So that's why I think it takes time for you to develop yourself as you're creating other things, because if it just fall in your lap tomorrow, you may not be prepared for what you're being called to create or to do, and so I'm glad so too, because I've wished some things that I'd been, like, really sorry that they came to fruition that fast, or I wouldn't have appreciated them honestly as much either.
And what I really want is I want everybody to find, Christy, their Friday night essence. I call
Tell
it
me
your
more.
Friday night essence. We all have it. It's that thing that you can do all night. Time doesn't matter. You don't need any food. You're kind of in the zone. You've heard athletes talk about this, being in the zone where they just felt absolutely invincible. They were on top of their game. They didn't have to think about it. It was just a natural extension. Every single human being has a Friday night essence. It's the thing that's inside of you that you really love doing. It's the thing that's really inside of you that you came down here to this earth to create and to do. You're just allowing society to scare you out of it.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm telling you, if you'll just accept your Friday night essence, find that thing that makes you happy on the inside. That thing that just you know what it is. Don't tell me you don't because you know what it is. How do I know you know what it is? Because God put it in you and God put it in you in a way that where you would recognize it, you would realize it, you're just afraid of it. You see, I get people to
Ooh,
start
fear. Let's talk about that
fear.
fear thing.
Oh, you already know what that is. That's false evidence appearing real. I mean, here's the deal. This is the game that I play, and this is the game that I'm playing for the rest of my life. And it took me a while to come to this place, but I want you to think about this. Once again, we're still playing this game, I believe. Could you imagine if you were really God? If you were really God, I don't think you'd have any depression in your life. If you were really God, I don't think you'd have any anxiety about tomorrow or any fear or doubt about tomorrow because you knew that you are the creator of everything. You know that what you speak will happen. You know whatever you desire, you can create without any doubt, without any fear. You can create these things because you are God. Now, what people don't understand is that you are God in disguise. Just like that tree in my front yard, that is God in disguise as a tree.
You got a
And
big
that
tree too in your front yard?
I have a bunch of trees.
I got a big, big oak tree. It's like this big, and I look at it all the time, and I'm like, "Man, that sucker's been sitting there for it's seen so many things. It's seen so many years. It's seen so many things that I can't even imagine. It is still standing, you know?"
I'm gonna tell you something that'll blow your mind, and you're probably gonna be, oh, Tony, you're really out there. And yes, I am. Have you noticed when you walk past that, do you feel that energy, Christy?
Oh, I feel it just looking at it. You
Okay,
know what
so
I
let me
mean?
ask you a question. Have you ever put your hand on that oak tree and asked it to give you the information?
Oh, I have not done that, but I've hugged it a few times.
Ask it to give you the information, Christy, and watch what happens.
Okay, I'm
Watch
gonna
what
try it.
happens. I told you you're connected to everything, and the problem is we are so afraid to reconnect to nature where our power comes from. Just like you said, that tree has been there for quite a long time, and not only that, if you think that tree is big, you should see how big it is underground. It's bigger
That's true.
underground than it is over the ground. So let me tell you what, and it's connected to all the other plant species underground, and they're having magnificent communication about us, about the world, about life, and everything else. They have their own
I
level
wonder
of
what they
consciousness.
probably s I wonder what they probably are talking about us. I'm sure it's been like, "Them poor little newbies up there, they still try
I I don't think they have. To be honest with you, I don't think they have a lot of
to
faith
make
in us.
judgments," but they just might be like, "No, okay, there goes the fledglings. The fledglings are amok."
Now, could you imagine this? Could you imagine if you were a tree and I was a human? I don't think you'd like me because you'd notice that I cut your people down. I kill you. I make
There
newspapers out
there
of
he
you.
goes again, cutting the grass. Oh, Lord. preventing all my tree friends and brothers from being around me because there is some trees in my yard that probably was cut down probably like not when I was there, but they probably were like, "Oh, man, there went my sister."
When I started grounding, it just, man, I don't know. Do you ground at all? Do you know what that is?
Well, I know it's connecting to the ground, and I do walk around. I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but like barefooted and, lay in the grass type
Yes,
of
ma'am.
thing. Yeah.
That's grounding. That's grounding. The earth itself has something which is called the Schumann resonance. It's a frequency that the earth is giving off. Just like I said, you're a frequency and a vibration. The earth is a frequency and vibration. The trees are a frequency and vibration. Your cars are. Everything is a frequency and a vibration of energy. So the earth itself is emitting a frequency and a vibration that you cannot hear with your human ears. Okay. That frequency is about 7.83 hertz. Now, here's the beautiful thing about what the earth will do for you as a human being. If you'll stand on the earth, it's called grounding. The earth is pulling the negative ions out of your body, Christy. They're pulling it out of your body and it's replacing it with positive ones. Okay. So you're getting an ion exchange. And the beautiful thing about it is that when it puts that positive energy in your body, you know what it does? It starts to accelerate the healing of your body at a cellular level. That's why you need to get that ionic exchange. That's why animals heal you because animals, they go outside, they walk on the earth, they pick up all the ions, they come back inside the house. You rub them, you hug them, you kiss them, you love on them. You're getting an ionic exchange from your pets and your animals, and they're healing you, and you don't even know it. Dogs and cats have some of the most powerful healing energy on the planet. If you'll hug a dog, your blood pressure goes down. If you hug a cat, your blood pressure goes down. If you'll hug a cat or a dog, you'll start to leave, the depression will leave your body because their frequency and their energy transforms your frequency and your energy into a happier frequency and a happier energy. Have you noticed? Didn't I tell you happiness equals health? Have you noticed that animals are always happy?
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know one human being that really like if they don't have any past, traumas with animals, if they like you typically you just give we have a therapy dog here at the office that I'm in.
I love
And
it.
that therapy dog, when he goes into a session or even when he comes into a meeting with, me, and it's not my dog, but I'll just sit there and pet it, and I've not seen one person be, like, mad that the dog's coming in and giving them some love in it, right? They're always smiling, calmer, helps them regulate a little bit better, and
Yes,
just
yes, no, and
that's for sure, yeah.
you can feel, and again, it's that ionic exchange that's making you feel that way. So you can get that anytime and every time you want that whenever you go outside and you stand on Mother Earth and just take your socks and shoes off and just stand there for 10 or 15 minutes. If you've got depression, the next time you are dealing with depression, I want you to take your socks and shoes off. I want you to go out in your front yard. I want you to stand in the yard and I want you just to think about the things in your life that you're grateful for. You see, you're depressed because you keep thinking about the things in your life that you're not grateful for. It's energy. So if you're thinking about things in your life that you're not thankful for, watch this. The law of energy is this. It has nothing to do with your opinion. This is the law. So if you're operating in that negative energy, then the law of energy is it has to go out and find more negative things for you to focus on. That is the law. You will never get out of depression thinking about your depressed life. There is no way. You can take medications, you can go to a therapist 5 times a day. It's not going to work. The first thing you have to do is realize that all you really have is now. The past and the future does not exist. It only exists in your mind. And if you'll think about it, when you go back to the past, what do? You're dealing with depression. Very seldom do you find anyone being depressed thinking about their future or thinking about now. They have anxiety thinking about their future. Is it going to happen? Can I have it? Will it really show up the way I want it to? So you have a lot of anxiety about the future and a lot of depression about the past. I have learned and I have mastered how to live in the moment of now. You see, if you live in the moment of now, there is no depression. There is no anxiety because in the moment of now, I have full control over what I say. I have full control over what I think and I have full control over what I do in the moment of now. And I told you that those are the three primary energies that you create everything with. I mean, you and I were created that way by our parents. They thought about it first, then they started talking about how much they like each other, and then they went and did something about it.
And then bam,
And then bam, here we are.
5 months later. Well, okay, I know we're getting kind of close to the end of the time, but if you were to give people just maybe a few suggestions about how to live more in the now, what is maybe 1 or 2 practical things that you would encourage them to do?
I would encourage them to start having a conversation. You see, your internal dialogue controls your life. If you speak well to yourself internally, you will do things that are good for yourself externally. If you speak negatively to yourself internally, you will do things externally that are negative for you as well. Once again, it's energy. So, the first thing I would tell people to do, once again, is start grounding. You have to change your frequency. And a lot of times people can't change their frequency because they're speaking to themselves in a negative way. They're not taking action on their health. They're not moving or trying to, build their bodies, which is where all your frequency and your vibration comes from anyway. So it's difficult. So, how do we live in the moment of now? What I do is I do these now exercises. Whatever I'm doing, I try to bring my energy completely into what I'm doing right now. Like right now, you and we're having a great conversation on your great podcast show, and I'm 100% engaged with you. I'm not thinking about my next meeting. I'm not thinking about anything else outside of talking with you and serving the tribe of people that are listening to us today. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm 100% right here. I'm not living in the future. I'm not worrying about the meeting I had before I got on this call with you. So I'm living in the moment of now. And when you start doing that consistently and frequently, and yes, you're going to have to bring yourself back because you're going to go back to that old way of thinking. You're going to go back to that old way of doing. Why? Because that's energy trying to pull you back. That's why you have to make a decision that you are going to be a different person based off of the destiny of what you're trying to create for your life, and then you reverse engineer it. And I promise you, when you reverse engineer it, it's going to expose a lot of things that you need to get rid of. It's going to expose a lot of people that you need to let go of. It's going to expose a lot of thoughts, ideas, emotions, and things that are holding you back. So, guess what? You get very clear on the things that you need to transform in order for you to transform to get to that destiny that you're trying to get to. And guess what? You can do it. I don't care what it is. I tell you something, Christy, I never thought that I would be an entrepreneur owning companies and selling companies. I never thought that. But when I made a decision that I wanted to be a better human being and serve humanity, life just started showing up and giving me massive opportunities to walk into the doors that I never thought I would ever see, or doors that I never thought I would be able to open on my own. And it just started showing up in a magnificent way. And so what I did is I started training other people because I wanted to see if it was duplicatable. I was like, man, does this work for everybody, or
Is
does it
it
just
just
work for
me?
me?
Did I just get the magic wand somewhere that people been talking about that's been hiding?
And you know what the crazy thing is, Christy? You are the magic wand. I'm the
Mhm.
magic wand. The problem that we have is that we look outside of ourselves for everything when we need to start looking inside of ourselves for everything. I never ask another man a question before I ask myself the question. Because remember the game that I'm playing. I am God in disguise. So if I'm God in disguise, guess what? I know every answer. I just have to ask the right answer. When do I, ask the right question? When do I do that? I do it in meditation. I strongly suggest that everybody try to start meditating at least 5 minutes a day. And it's not, meditation is nothing outside of you just sitting there, breathing, relaxing, and just letting life go, just not worrying about anything anymore. Just saying, hey, you know what? Here I am. I am
Yeah.
here.
Like on my I didn't wear my believe bracelet today, but this one is the be still one, the be still. And sometimes you just gotta be still.
I always tell people, let silence speak. All of my wisdom, all of my knowledge, all of my power, all of my ability, I gained it in meditation and silence. I had to be quiet so God could speak to me. I had to be quiet so I could fully understand the instructions, what I agreed to do before I came to this planet. Christy, you agreed to do some things before you came to this planet. I think you're probably sitting in your Friday night essence.
I'm trying, I'm trying. Listen, but I need to be still a little bit more. You know, you go through seasons where you sometimes it's that consistency and frequency where you may lose consistently doing some of those habits, like you said, meditation, sitting in stillness, grounding. And so, you know, if you're listening and you find yourself in that place where maybe you've had some of those habits that he's talking about, just remind yourself you can always go back to them, even though you've lost them. And sometimes we have to, just like you said, pulling ourselves back into how can we take time to listen to what those instructions
Well,
are, and they
you
don't
know, it was
come
so
from
funny when people tell me they don't have time. I'm like, listen, don't, tell that story to someone else. Okay. At the end of the day, I already know you will make time for what's valuable to you.
that's
At the end
right.
of the day, I guarantee you, you go to work if you feel like it or you don't feel like it. I guarantee you, you go to work when it's raining or when it's sunny. I guarantee you go to work if it's hot or if it's cold. Why? Because you need that money so you can take care of your family and you can move forward with your life. So at the end of the day, you make time for that. You see what I'm saying? So, what I want everybody to know, Christy, is that they are worth it. Your life is worth it. Your body and your health is worth it. Your mental stability is worth it. The power of your creation, it's worth it. You are worth 5 minutes, man.
That's right. That's so true.
And I promise you, when you take that 5 minutes, it's going to turn into 10. It's going to turn into 15. I started off with 5 minutes, and my day starts like this: 4:30 in the morning, I'm out of the bed. I'm in my office, probably in my home, about probably 4:45, and I'm listening to tones. I don't know if you listen to tones, but I teach people how to listen to tones. You
I
got to
do
start.
go to yoga sometimes, and they got the sound bath going on at the end.
Yes, ma'am. Doesn't that make you feel good? Do you like
Oh
that?
my god, it's so good, it's so good. It's
I
all
love the sound.
interesting. It's kinda when people go for the first time, they're like, they might think, "Okay, this is a little woo-woo," but it's that energy you're talking about, it's that vibration, it's that and it really can lift you. It almost feel like you're lifting out of your body, transcending into, you know.
Well, it brings you back into a state of homeostasis. Homeostasis is the balance of the body, the balance of the mind, and the balance of the spirit. The body is always looking for homeostasis. So the frequencies themselves will bring you back into balance. And it also realigns your chakra system. You've got seven energy systems. Yes. So I listen to the tones. After the tones, I go outside and I will actually ground for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'll go to YouTube and I'll get the Schumann resonance of 7.83. I'll listen to it in my earbuds. I'll stand out on the ground and then I'll actually recite my mantras, my daily mantras about my life, my health, my wealth, my wisdom. I do that for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I'll actually come back in the house and I'll start taking care of my animals and my wife and everybody else. So it's me first. My law is me first, and I wish everybody would adopt that law.
Well,
It
you
doesn't
can't
mean
pour
you're
from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup,
no,
right?
man. No, and you know what they say? That's selfish. That's not selfish. That's self full. That's self full. Like you said, you can't pour into an empty cup if your cup's empty. You got to fill yourself first. You can't serve anyone unless you are healthy and happy and able to serve. So if you're struggling with your health, you're struggling with energy, guess what? You can't really help too many people along the way.
Yeah. Well, look, that might be a good segue, Anthony. If people are like, you know what, I just feel motivated, I'm ready to go take some action. I'm realizing that, you know what, maybe I have been in a state where I want to make a decision and I want to change, and I might need somebody to help me figure out how to get to the destination or help me figure out what destination I want to go to. How can they kind of find out a little bit more about you and maybe even get in touch with you?
Well, what I want to offer your listeners is a free consultation. It's just time for us to sit down and get to know each other. At the end of the day, no matter what you're dealing with, you are the power to overcome it. And I want you to know that. I want to show you that you are the power, not me. You have the answers, not me. It's your life. So I want to show you how to tap into that power so that you'll have that clarity and understanding and that consciousness to create what you truly desire. So the way they could reach out to me is urh30.com. Now, it's U as in under, the letter U, R as in Ralph, the letter R, H as in Harry, the letter H, the number 3, and the letter O as in Oscar. urh30.com. And that will be a landing page where you can learn a little bit more about what I do. And it'll also be a place where you could schedule a free call with me. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not trying to sell or promote anything. I don't have, what I'm here
Well,
for is I'm here to help you get
we
clear.
started the call, I always ask sometimes behind the scenes our guests, how can this be a something that is a positive experience for them, and really so that I can help guide the conversation in a direction that, also is reciprocal. It serves the listeners and it also serves the person coming. And that's one of the things you said when we first started off. I said, what's a good outcome? And you said, I'm just here to serve. So on that note, I really do appreciate this has been such a fun conversation for me. I'm walking away more uplifted. I really, just the light that you have, like you said, we're all a light, and but you can sometimes you just get around people and you can see the light just coming off of them and emitting from who they are, and that's what you're trying to get people to live in their light. But I can definitely tell that, and I appreciate the path that you've taken to get here so that you can serve at the highest level of possibility for those that you work with. And so, guys,
Can I use
if
that?
you're listening,
Christy, I wanna use that. I like what you just said. Get people to live in their light. I love that, and that's exactly what I'm trying to
and
do.
I do believe that we all, I feel passionate about this. That's part of the reason why this podcast is here, is that I do believe that we all have unique gifts, strengths, talents. I like how you said instructions that we were probably, we had before we even landed here. And I think the more we can tap into our own light that is within, then the more this world can change for the positive in a lot of ways. So sometimes it's just finding your light, folks, finding that light.
And it's there. It's there, guys. I'm telling you, it's inside of you. You just haven't been paying attention to it. I'm gonna show you where it is. I'm gonna show you how to turn it up, turn it on, and so you can be the glorious, magnificent being that you were created to be. That's why you're on this planet. For no other reason, I'm telling you.
Yep. So, guys, I hope you're leaving inspiring today. But, I always give you one thing that I heard, and there is something that Coach told us. He told us a lot of things. So, go ahead and replay it so you can make sure you get all the messages really sunk into your being. But one of the things he said that I'm leaving you with today is I think something we all need to remember is you are worth it. And remember, believe. Until next time.
That's all for today on Inspiring Possible. If you found a little inspiration today, please go on over to iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you tune in to listen to leave us a comment and rate us. Also, make sure and link up with me at inspiringpossible.com to get the free Dream It, Write It, Do It workbook. And don't forget to follow us on social media and share this with anyone who needs to be inspired. Remember, if you can believe it, it's possible.